a car so clever. NASCAR had no choice but to ban it. It looked like any other Chevy Chevelle at first glance, sleek, fast, built for the track. But what was hiding under the surface would change racing forever. Built by a man who didn't break rules, he simply rewrote how they were read. His name? Smokey Yunick. And this is the story of the most infamous race car NASCAR ever tried to stop. Henry Smokey Yunick wasn't just another mechanic. Before racing, he flew bombing missions in World War II. When he returned, he opened a small garage in Daytona Beach, Florida, with a bold sign out front, "The best damn garage in town." It wasn't a brag. It was a warning. Because Smokey Yunick wasn't here to play by the rules, he was here to outthink them. In the early days of NASCAR, Smokey quickly became a legend. He didn't have the biggest team, or the biggest budget. What he had was a mind sharper than the rulebook. If a rule said what you couldn't do, Smokey found what it didn't say. And used that gap to gain an edge. His cars were fast, dangerous, and just barely legal. Every race was a challenge, and every victory a puzzle solved. But in 1967, Smokey brought something entirely new to Daytona, a Chevrolet Chevelle that would shake NASCAR to its core. To the naked eye, it looked like every other car on the track. But Smokey had spent months re-engineering every inch of it. The body was acid-dipped to make it lighter, then recoated to hide the trick. The chassis was shortened by over an inch, lowering the center of gravity. The roofline was lowered. The rear end was shifted. The suspension was custom-built to reduce air drag. Every inch of the car was tweaked, tuned, and reimagined, not to break the rules, but to play within them, masterfully. Smokey understood something others didn't: if the rulebook doesn't say no, then it's a yes. Then came the most shocking moment of all. During a pre-race inspection, NASCAR officials suspected something was off. They drained the fuel tank and removed it entirely, thinking they had caught Smokey. But as they started walking away with the tank, Smokey fired up the engine and drove the car back to his garage. No tank. No problem. The secret? Smokey had built an 11-foot-long fuel line, pressurized and hidden inside the car's frame. It acted as a second gas tank, holding nearly 5 extra gallons of fuel. It wasn't in the rulebook. No one had ever imagined it. So technically, it was legal. When officials confronted him about the trick, Smokey smirked and said, "You're gonna need to make it 11, that's how many things you think are wrong with it." It wasn't just a car. It was a statement. Smokey had beaten the system again. So was he a genius? Or a cheater? It depends who you ask. To some, he was a hero, the ultimate garage rebel, outsmarting the system with pure engineering brilliance. To others, he was a rule bender, always skirting the line of fairness. But even Smokey would tell you, "I never cheated, I just found the gray area and lived in it." Eventually, NASCAR had had enough. The Chevelle was banned. Not for one trick, but for all of them. NASCAR officials rewrote entire sections of the rulebook to close the Smokey loopholes. They changed fuel line restrictions, body measurements, and even how inspections were done. One car and one man forced the sport to evolve. But Smokey wasn't done. His legacy stretched far beyond that one Chevelle. He worked with General Motors, with Ford, with IndyCar. He designed engines, wrote articles, and even created his own high-efficiency carburetor. And later, he published a massive, brutally honest autobiography titled Best Damn Garage in Town, a must-read for anyone who loves racing, rebellion, or brilliant engineering.